The concern is not only the economic impact of bird flu on, egg production and chicken, but the fact that if it ever jumps and becomes virulent in humans, we could have another pandemic. Since people
Yes,
don't
and this
seem to
might
like to
have a
be
higher death
vaccinated
rate.
nowadays.
Apparently, a lot of the
Well,
avian
they
flus had a 50% death rate.
well, and the thing is, people today have this aversion to vaccines, which could just cause the problem to be greater. As well, budget cutbacks have cut back on surveillance, so the problem is festering and could blow up at any time. It was recently brought to the Canadian attention with respect to ostrich farmers in BC, and perhaps Corey, you can enlighten uh, the listener as to what's going on there.
Yeah, the one of the issues was that a billionaire down in the States was wanting to make a safe haven by moving the 300 and some or 400 ostrich down to the States because they felt that the birds were not a possible risk to anybody. But a lot of flu symptoms may not show up, and testing is pretty hard to test 400 birds all the time to see if the disease is floating through the population. They might have a bit of immunity to it because they lived, but they could still be infectious and spread the disease. So the essence of it was they wanted to move it to the U.S., where now under Trump, the U.S. has deregulated the monitoring of the avian flu, or basically said, here, we're cutting back the funding so you can't monitor as many potential cases down in the U.S. And he said, well, if we don't test, there is no disease. Well, that's the same mentality in the U.S. going on right now to deal with the avian flu. All these cutbacks are posing a risk to the food chain supply, which means there's going to be human infections. And I'm not sure how many people died, but there were few deaths last year in the U.S. from that outbreak, and that becomes a problem. During the COVID, Trump cost the lives of hundreds of thousands of people that didn't need to die. If there was a outbreak of avian flu influenza, it has a higher mortality rate than even the COVID had, and it has a potential of being very devastating. So the cutbacks in the U.S. could pose a problem and a threat to Canada, and we see that because the U.S. billionaire wanted to move this potential virus threat, the ostrich farm, down to the U.S. That becomes a problem on an international scale.
Subscribe to the channel, give us a like, and please share the video. Don't be afraid to share this commercial with your friends too.